Here's the title. This is how nature changed my mental health. Now, for a pretty big chunk of my life, a number of years, I spent most of my day sitting around, usually in bed. I wouldn't even really get out of bed much, watching YouTube videos and content and playing video games. And this really was kind of represented a low point in my life and how I perceived the world around me and how I approached things in life. This was the laziest period of my life. This was the most depressing period of my life. And what this sort of taught me was that going outside and like being in nature and being in the world around you and like experiencing God's creation is actually so much more powerful than a lot of people say it is. You know, everyone tells you to go outside, you know, touch grass, you know, do stuff, but no one really tells you how important it is. And so that's what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to explain to you how the simple act of spending more time outdoors and in nature and spending less time consuming content and playing video games and sitting around and being lazy really transformed my mental health. So my morning, like not even my morning routine, my daily routine, what I did every single day when I didn't have school, so like during the summer and during winter break, I would wake up usually around 7 because I'm an early riser. I'm a bit of a morning person, so I'd wake up, and the first thing I would do after I, went to the bathroom and did all that, I would get on my parents' laptop because I didn't have a phone at the time. And because it was funny because I thought I was like such a good person. Like I was so I was like so much better than everybody else. I didn't have a phone. I thought I was like less of a social media kid because I didn't have a phone, but I just spent all the time I would have spent on my phone on my parents' laptop. So I would wake up, get on my parents' laptop, first thing straight away, start watching YouTube videos, and I would do that for about 2 hours, and then I'm not exaggerating, like 2 hours. And then I would go downstairs, eat some breakfast with my family, usually while watching a little bit of content on my phone, and then go back, well, not on my phone, but usually, spend some time with my family, and then go right back upstairs, play some video games with my brother, and then go back to watching content. And that was my entire life for a pretty long time. It was just content and video games and dopamine and just stupid stuff like that. And eventually, there was a switch that flipped. I started, instead of watching silly like Minecraft videos, I started watching more self-improvement content, videos a lot like this. And then I realized that there was another way to live. You didn't have to sit around and watch content all day. You could actually do something with your day and do something with your life. And so I started to be on self-improvement and try to improve myself, improve my life. I spent more time outdoors. I spent more time exercising and, actually being a part of the world. And that's what really, really transformed how I see the world around me and how I interact with other people. It made me more social. I was usually very introverted, and I didn't really talk to people that much. But when I started, being less of a goon and sitting on my phone all day or my laptop or whatever, I started actually, participating in the things and, hanging out with people and being more social, being more lively. That's not to say it's a bad thing to be more of an introvert, but I really rapidly became much more extroverted when I started actually putting myself out there and not hiding from from people and social interactions. And it kind of dawned on me that a lot of people who are kind of depressed and don't really like to hang out with other people aren't actually introverts. They say they're introverts and they think they're introverts, but they're really not. They're just not in the right social interactions. They're not doing the right things in their life to make them more social. They're not going out there, because a lot of people who say they're introverts would actually be much more happy if they lived a more social life. If you're wondering how I have my phone propped up and I'm not holding it anymore, it's because I found a tree that has like a perfect little like kickstand on it, and I'm very grateful for that, because my hands are cold and now I get to warm up my pockets. But yeah, so actually going out there and experiencing the world around you, and you know, the title of this video is about nature, right? And so I live on a farm. I don't live in a neighborhood. I don't live in a city, right? So there's not a lot of people around me all the time that are my age. But what got me more social, what made me more outgoing, was literally just putting down the electronics, putting down the phone, the laptop, right? And literally going out in the woods like I am today, and literally just walking around, looking at things, experiencing nature, seeing animals and birds and squirrels. Earlier in this video, a hawk flew from a tree, and I thought that was pretty cool. Just like enjoying the things in your life, enjoying the world around you, finding beauty and gratitude in other things. At the bottom where I'm filming this video, there's actually a big sinkhole. I'll probably show it to you later. It's pretty cool. It's like icicles down, and it's really neat. And I would have never experienced this. I would have never seen these things if I continue to live my life the way I used to, of sitting around and being lazy and not going outside, not really doing anything. Like, there were several days where I literally wouldn't even step outside. I wouldn't have even seen the sun, really. I would have just spent all day indoors. And that is really tragic. It's something that I don't wish anybody to experience. And one of the reasons that nature did this for me is that several studies have shown that nature and trees and things around you, and like actually experiencing the outdoors, is so incredibly beneficial to your life and to your mental health, because this is how humans were made to live. This is how we lived for thousands of years, right? Humanity evolved, like first appeared on this earth, whether you believe in evolution or creation, whatever you believe in, around 200,000 years ago. Like, we've been on this earth for a long time, right? And civilization and like agriculture and building structures and cities and things like that has only been around for about 10,000 years. So humanity spent most of its existence, like the vast majority of its existence, right? Because all of human history, all of like written human history, is just like a tiny little sliver of the vastness of human existence. And during the vast majority of that time, we were hunter-gatherers. We were living in the woods, living outside in nature. We didn't really have a concept of inside. Inside was the cave, right? But we didn't spend much time in the cave. We only really went in there to sleep and maybe cook some meals. Like, we spent most, if not all, of our days out in nature, experiencing the elements, experiencing the world around us. Right? There was no such thing as the caveman who sat indoors and looked at cave paintings all day, because that caveman would have probably died, or he would have been like ostracized from his cave community or whatever. Yeah, so we're not supposed to sit indoors. We're not supposed to do this. So no wonder we have mental health issues now, because we're living such an unnatural life. If I haven't convinced you yet, you're probably thinking like, oh, well, humanity, we aren't cavemen anymore though. So it's not like we can't really relate to cavemen. The truth is, our human nervous system has hardly changed, right? Evolution takes a very long time to go about. Our nervous system has barely changed since the caveman days, right? 10,000 years really isn't that long for us to actually drastically transform how our nervous system and how our brains work. Like, our mind and our like human system still thinks it's 10,000 BC, still thinks we're cavemen, right? But we're living such an unnatural life that our ability to comprehend things, our ability to express our emotions and our feelings are so messed up and so strange now because we're not living a normal life. We're not living how humans normally live, right? So if you've ever been to a zoo and you've ever talked to zookeepers, right? The main thing that zoos try to accomplish is to simulate the animal's natural environment as closely as possible, right? So if you have a gorilla in a zoo, they're not going to put him in a big concrete box, right? No, they're going to plant trees in his enclosure. They're going to make rocks and like rivers and things like that to make it appear and simulate his natural environment, right? If you've ever been to like the penguin house, it's very, very cold in there because penguins need that cold air to survive. They have plenty of water to swim around in, and they're fed a diet of fish. Like, they have a very natural life. They live how how naturally they are. So why are you different? Why are humans living such this unnatural, unhealthy lifestyle? Well, there's many reasons, but I'm not going to get into all those. But bottom line is, the best way I've ever been able to improve my mental health is to start living a more natural life, to start spending more times outdoors, to stop sitting around and scrolling and eating junk food all day, to start eating a more natural, healthy diet, exercise, and actually do things. That's what transformed mental health, and that's what has really gotten me to the point I am here now. That's all I got for today. May God bless you, and stay wild.